enterprises in Zimbabwe. Trish's entrepreneurial innovation includes creating Zimbabwe's first farm-to-fork restaurant. Oh, nice. This is really, really nice. Thymeless Gourmet, which earned her several prestigious awards. She also designed the GoGetter planners and gifts, expanding her influence in business and leadership. Trish's impact is further recognized through accolades such as Zimbabwe's 30 under 30 as a Mandela Washington Fellow and Gender Liaison Officer for the African Union Youth Envoy. Her leadership transcends borders, championing gender equality and youth empowerment across Africa. Trish, hello.
Hi, Yasha.
How are you doing? I am doing good. How's everything?
Everything is okay. Can't complain.
Yo, this is like December, starting December. Amazing story, right? And you started this transformative leader, journey. How did it begin?
I think I could say that I stumbled on it. Initially, I saw myself thriving in a law career. I saw myself becoming a lawyer.
Okay.
So when I applied to be a lawyer,
so it wasn't banking that you did.
I never did banking.
It was law.
It was I didn't do law at all. I wanted to. Yes. So I have 14 points. There I am going to the UZ thinking I'm the boffin, and then they tell me no. We need 15 pointers at this point in time because there were a lot of us that year who did really well. So I ended up just settling for political science. I'm sorry for anyone who did political science, but to me at the moment it felt like settling because I really, really wanted to do law. So I thought maybe after I'd done my first year, I would end up, transitioning and changing my degree. I never did that. So I spent 3 years doing something that I totally hated.
Oh my
Not
gosh.
that it was something that that wasn't good. I'm now using political science now, which is quite the irony of the whole situation. But at the time I thought, my life is just over. I wanted to do this, I've been robbed. I started blaming everybody.
Oh my gosh.
They used it. My mom, why did you make me do political science? So
also she suggested you do political science.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So at that time they thought could they use it, in 2012. I was the first person in my family to go to university, and everybody thought could go use it and you know what I mean? So my family that she has to go to the UZ. So whilst I was doing political science, because I hated my degree, I ended up looking for other activities to do at the university. That's when I joined the SRC, and then I joined the entertainment committee, which had projects that had programs that created a platform where you'd bridge the gap between college life and corporate life. So that's when I started to see a different world, networking and all of that. And then I finished my degree. I decided to apply to a bank after my mentor, someone I had met through the UZ, said, you know what, you need to try. So I applied at the bank. I didn't make it the first time, but then I made it to the second round, and I was like, oh my gosh, really? I could actually get to the second stage. So next time, when the opportunity presents itself, I'm going to prepare so much and I'm going to apply again. And that's what happened, and I ended up at the bank.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's really nice. So, okay, so I want to go back to varsity. You talked about getting into extracurricular activities.
Yes.
How important is that? Because extracurricular activities are not really that important, but you're showing us that you can branch out and become something that's completely different from what you're studying by just, immersing yourself in different activities. And you're showing us how it changes lives. But how important is it for young people to take part in these activities? Because none of them got a book, home, book, exam.
To be honest, I realized that most of the times when I'd be in an interview with someone with a first-class degree, I would probably do better than them, and then I'd be picked over them. Not kuti vangu vasingaziye zvavari, but then when you go to when you become a graduate, when you leave school, employers look at different things. They don't just look at your academics. They look at how else have you, developed yourself. How do you speak? How do you turn solutions? How do you turn problems into solutions? Saka kana urungoziya book. In the real world, we've realized my programs akawanda ekuti we want to make the education relevant, because when we get into the real world, sometimes it doesn't work. Oh my goodness, it's totally different, and we're in a world where you are forced to be able to think on your feet, forced to be able to have other skills like leadership, like being able to be assertive. These are things that you develop by interacting with people, by making sure that you are doing other things outside of school. So I'm not saying school is not important. It is important, but I would want to also say extracurriculum activities are just as important as the academics.
They will definitely help you. Now, GoGetter Movement.
Yeah.
How did that start?
So I remember I was sitting in the bank. I was sitting at the back office, and I was just thinking that, I'm sitting here in the bank. Of course, I'm making a difference, because wherever I am, I think that's one of the things that I learned from being part of Barclays Bank, which is now First Capital. That's where I was. That they had this value called stewardship, and they would say that you need to leave things better than you found them. So I really took it to heart, and everything that I did, I made sure that people would know that Trish was here. So when I was there, I was like, is this where I am destined to be for the rest of my life? I didn't get into this job in the straight and narrow road as people think because I also had a lower second class degree, and my jobs are under, they want an upper second class. So I wanted to be able to also inform some of the younger women and especially women, because I'm so passionate about women. I was raised by two amazing women. So I wanted them to know that, there's certain things that you need to work on. Your personal development, networking, knowing the right places, ensuring that you work on yourself so much that when you step into a room, even when people don't think you're capable, you know that you're capable and you deliver. So I was sitting there thinking, I need to find a way to share this story with other young people. So I hadn't thought of the GoGetter movement. So I then went to my boss, and I was telling her, this is what I'm thinking. I think I want to do this. I want to be able to. I thought I was going to be a trainer. I didn't know there was anything called motivational speaking or whatever. So she said, you could do that in this organization. And she showed me someone, and she said, do you know this and this person does exactly what you're saying? The development of people, personal development, that's where you guys go. So I was thinking, okay, she's amazing. So her words had an opposite effect. So because she believed in me so much, what I took from there was not what she expected, because I left that room thinking, if she thinks I can actually do that job, why can't I do it for the whole world instead of just that small institution? So that's when I left that office and I started working on this dream. I didn't know what it would look like, but I knew that I wanted to be able to create something that impacts the lives of communities, nurtures the next generation, and make sure that there is no information gap when we are talking about transitioning from college to work, and also when also changing careers, transitioning from a career also to entrepreneurship. That
is a scary field.
Yes.
That's something you to go to go to. Am I the number one question you ask yourself when you want to become an entrepreneur is, can I make it? Am I going to be successful? Who's going to listen to me? Who's going to see my business? Who's going to see worth in my business? So you feel, okay, let me just keep my 9 to 5.
Yes,
8 to 4, because
I I'll have control over my time, I'll be so flexible.
And the money.
Yes, the money. It doesn't come all the time.
What are you saying?
It doesn't come all the time. So you need to have planned it so well, and also be prepared for the down times, so that okay, I knew this was gonna come, so I'll prepare for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things. I'll get help. That's the other thing. Fund amongst ourselves for you to be able to start your business. In your career, without a board member, what platforms should we ensure speaking slots? What kind of education can a corporate director do you need for you to be able to do that? Who do you need to be associating with? Things like that. So we've created such a community for young women. Most of our demographic is below 40. So we've really been intentional. Yeah.
So in this go-getter movement that you'll be moving and shaking the young women, is it what led you to the Zim 30 under 30 accolade? Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. I'm not 31.
But anyway, which is important. You want it, let's celebrate that. You want it then when you get under 30. But how do you feel when
and certain that shaker? But in that moment, I thought, you know what? I need to reflect on my journey. Like, it's been a journey. I've risen, I've fallen, I've risen again. I've faced a lot, but then I still managed to continue, pushing and achieving my dreams.
How can you say, Guti? I know that imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
But you're given
from there is something that I didn't do. Kuti, you need to prepare for every opportunity. Because in the Mandela Washington Fellowship, people want to say, this is what I need to come out of. These are the people I need to meet. This is what I need for my business. So okay, fine, I'm going to, meet other young leaders, which also helped, because I've met people who've so like you're saying, sometimes when you go into that imposter syndrome, you can't sit down and reflect and appreciate where you've come from and the things that you've achieved. But sometimes it takes the community around you to remind you of who you are. And that's been the story of my life. I've had moments where, like with the Farm to Fork restaurant, I was running it, it was thriving, and all of a sudden, boom. So it's a restaurant where we were just as a Thai become kitchen, Thai rima, like the hukus, the vegetables. We had our little gardens, so everything was coming fresh from the garden. So I remember a lot of people thought it was such an amazing idea, but for me, it was something that just came up, and we said we're going to do this, because in college I think it's after my hot dogs. So it was also like a thing. Okay, I had a food cart, I had a food truck, so now we can transition into this Farm to Fork restaurant. But it's something, Jakuti, it was a huge step. I didn't have enough help. I didn't understand the step that I was taking in such a new space. And so for me, it was just a mixture of both success, and also it was something that really took a lot from me. Okay,
so yeah, in college you're doing all this, right? And because you're saying was, so
it's on hold. So it took so much from me. Don't about your mental health. Right now, it took so much from me, and I didn't have much that was coming into me. I didn't have the help that I know now that I should have gotten. So it was running, it was thriving. Everyone saw the outside, but for me, it was taking so much away from me. Saga, I got to a point where I was just like, you know what? I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take a break.
And I'll revisit.
Yes, I'll revisit this.
On.
Yeah, because and it's so hard to leave a baby out in the tongue, and you know how it's going to blow up in a time. But then at that moment, I just felt kuti, you know what? I can't. I cannot.
Hi Nyasha, hi Trish. In Nini, I had 3 businesses that I started, but I failed dismally each and every one of them, and I ended up giving up. But listening to Trish has helped me realize that sometimes I just need to try one more time.
Yes.
So there are people who feel you know, my way, I failed at this thing, or Ninge has failed at this thing. What would be your advice to fellow entrepreneurs who want to start or who want to restart something that they left behind because it failed, but have that fear, what if my money goes down and under and never comes back up again?
Yeah, so what I'll say is most entrepreneurs, if not all of us, have faced that. And it's just a shame because people don't talk about it. Kutitiwane some relatable stories from it. I remember on the weekend, Tantine event, Takaita GoGetter Movement, Yainzi still I rise and I thrive. But we started with talking about coming from setbacks to comeback. So everyone who was on that panel, they reiterated the story of Kuti Ndakatumbodona, guys. And people were so shocked because these stories are not said often. So what I would say is, we've faced it, but then thing is that's the burden of having big dreams, auntie. So it means kuti tataza, or we failed in one aspect. Todziza from it, it's school fees. You know how it is. Some school fees is very expensive. It takes away from you, but then it's learning nonetheless. So what I'll say to her, Achananzani.
I not tell us why not say your name?
Yes, my fellow faller, and about to come back. Let me tell you something. You know, it's not going to be rosy the whole road, but then these moments of our downtime, auntie, they prepare us from what is ahead. What helped me in is to reach out to my networks. I reached out to my friends. I reached out to people that I've worked with before. Wait, do you know who you are? This is who you are. So then I started to realize, but it meant there was a time that I needed to learn certain things. There was a time that I needed to heal from this failed venture. You know, it's good to take a break. You can take a break and you can come back stronger and better because you'd have implemented the lessons that you'd have learned. So don't despise everyone has their own issues that they're dealing with. In one way or the other, but make sure you always keep your eye on your goals. How can I make it better? What help? I'll reiterate, what help do I need? Because sometimes
ask for help. Ask for help.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So an African proverb, you know, to tell us alone I go fast, together we go far. So when they say who are around you, so surround yourself with people who feed into you and who also always be motivating you to go for your dreams.
Wow. Okay, so if people want to get in touch with you, how do they get in touch with you?
Okay, they can get in touch with me through the GoGetter Movement. We've got a number which is 0773 773 430. I'll repeat, 0773 773 430. Or they can email me, trish@gogettermovement.com. I'm always on my phone, so I respond.
So the age, is there any age range for the GoGetter Movement, or it's every woman who wants to get into it?
We want to thrive together. That's our motto. We want to thrive together. You can't go at it like we are good business. That's why we're there. Say, how do we go forward? So that's why the GoGetter Movement is there, and would want you guys to join us. Women, come be part of the GoGetter Movement so that